Hey folks, so happy Friday. If you're not watching this on a Friday, then happy whatever day it is. This video is all about showcasing the fact that if the audio in your video sucks, then your video sucks. All right, so the objective of today's vlog, I'm trying to test out a new process, right? So mid-December, we're gonna be recording a seminar with Amman. Quick sample of what the effect of all these acoustics are, of all these acoustic panels are. So if we step right into a room, so this room right here, next to our hotel conference room, is not treated one bit. Ready? We step in here, and you can hear the amount of echo, and you can also see that the autofocus just, went haywire because of the dark lighting. But let's go into a space. So as you can hear this, you can hear the echo, and now from here, let's walk right into no mic, straight in camera audio, and this is the echo.
And now the echo is gone.
Yes, it is.
It's gone. It's obviously noticeable.
Just the black Muslims in that community are not seen as the same as other Muslims in the community.
Yes.
For instance,
Is that not oppression?
hey, someone's coming starting trouble. They'll say, look around the room. Hey, you, black dude, can you help us out here?
If we had to make it a black and white dialogue, that's literally what it is. So you have a white Muslim is never seen as the same as a black Muslim, treated within the Muslim community.
So Kahari's giving me like very specific examples, but even Kahari's specific examples could be, hey, can you do security? Is that because you're black, or is it because you're 6'4" and 300 pounds? Like there's trouble. Am I gonna call I'm just assuming that if someone saw trouble that they would point at me and say, hey, can you help? Just because look at me, I'm just look like an action figure.
On the video, you're like, oh my God, where did the echo go? It's because Bilal left from that room to this room. This is not just a matter of putting up some black curtains, by the way. We're talking about sound paneling, we're talking about drills, we're talking about
So we got one,
a construction
two,
project.
and then we've got blankets on the back. We've got those acoustic panels over there. We've got those acoustic panels over here. Yeah, I'm just waiting for everybody to get in. We got those acoustic panels, and then we got the chairs lined up just to absorb anything in the back. Right? Amman Shukri, we know him. Y'all probably seen him. Look at the blooper clips down in the playlist somewhere.
A Houston native now.
Yeah, resident.
Hey, I went to a gathering at his place. Alhamdulillah, he's here.
Yeah, he's settled. He's here.
Right? People moving to Houston, man. Guys from New Jersey and stuff
I don't know if I'm settled.
like you, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm settled.
I know. That's usually what people say when they come here, but then 10 years later is like.
It's only been a few years. It's only been a few years.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
three how many?
Up until I've been here longer than I've been in DC, then I'll be like, all right, let's see what's happening. Yeah. Right?
That's cool. And then they leave and then they come back for some reason. I'm just saying this is what we've seen in the last 20 years. Yeah, go ahead.
So look, man, when you got folks like Mujahid up and doing what they're doing, you probably want to come back. In fact, that's why I came out to this side of town.
MashaAllah.
So
appreciate it, man. This is the creative juices we wanted to get in here.
No doubt, man. No doubt. We got all this kind of good stuff happening right here.
For some people, they're just going to look at steel and lenses and microphones, right? So I asked you to talk about what you're doing with a new with a new process that you're experiencing.
Yeah. So
and by the way, I just want to say, right? People don't know we live in this space, right? We are producers, and producers actually create content that people consume.
Yeah.
And people don't know the process that goes into, creating that end result. They just kind of consume it and they just kind of see, I don't know, whatever it is that's produced. So go ahead and talk about your new process.
Yeah. So essentially, it's rooted in me trying to solve a problem. That problem is audio.
Okay.
Right. You can have the best cameras, but if your audio sucks, your video sucks. Period.
True.
Right, and so I was shooting up a project in Toronto almost last year,
And I came in with one idea, but then the folks organizing it wanted to do something else and asked me to play ball. And so I did. But then with anything that's not tested, you're going to run into a lot of issues. So we've had to make a lot of compromises on the edits in terms of it's not a project that I'd be like, yo, I did this, right? Yeah. And so, and I can foresee them wanting to try something like that again. So I figured, let me take that on my own and run into the same challenges and see if I can solve it before I actually do the next project.
Nice. You know, Steven Spielberg said that if you have an option between good video and bad audio or good audio and bad video, he said you have to choose good audio over, you know, even if you have bad video. Because people take the information, you know, they're listening to it, then they can coherently make out whatever they're seeing, right? But if they're seeing something really crisp and they can't hear anything, they're not going to be able to register.
Yeah, no doubt. So, so the thing that I'm looking at right now is the challenge was we had a workshop where we had over a dozen people, and the instructor was mic'd up. His audio is clean, but then you have a couple of floating mics, two different types of mics, different brand of mics being recorded into something else.
Like handhelds?
Yeah, handhelds. And the problem isn't that they were recording on a microphone. The problem is that people don't know how to hold the mic.
True.
Right? Somebody would have
put the middle, exactly.
All right, somebody put the mic right up on the table.
Somebody hold the mic and be like this.
And somebody's gonna go put the mic up right up here. It's just like, and like I'm trying to like tell people like pull the mic down. They go like this, and then they go back up, and some people are holding. So it was a nightmare just editing it.
You know what we did? This you have to be in a controlled studio.
Yeah.
Right? We produced a studio called the Andalusia Media Arts Center before we actually had our previous rental facility.
This was the joint north of I-10, right?
Yes, exactly, right. So I used to think like if we're going to sit 50 people down, maximum capacity then was like 50 people.
Yeah.
I think it was like 1,400 square feet. And we used to have the control room and we had a plexiglass where we could see the stage and the people.
Right.
And so I used to think, what can we do so that people can interact openly and they don't have to be thinking about holding a mic?
Right.
Because, you know, also when they hold a mic, they start getting scared.
Sure.
Because they're like, oh my God, this is exactly. And a lot of people, you know, they don't want to speak in public, right? But if they're socially gathering with people and they can just openly discuss, they're different.
Yeah.
And so people never knew, but we actually had microphones up, you know, like studio diaphragm mics that were so wide open
so it could capture
that actually were so little up top. We ran the cords and we see this right here. What is this, like tiles?
Yeah.
Okay, so we ran, you know, we painted the tiles black.
Okay, so they would not see
and you couldn't see the mics.
Yeah.
And so people never knew why whenever we used to produce they could just talk and then it was clean. But each one of those mics, I mean, cost a good amount.
For sure.
We have them somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Alex, do we have those mics? We have to have those mics, man. Those little bitty mics that were small. I mean, we have a lot of little Sony mics. Have you seen like some mics that are like, they're like a little hook? We used to have them at the Andalusia Center. You know, maybe we lost them. The Andalusia Center was flooded.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's some flooding here in Houston and all our equipment damaged.
Let's just get something straight. Houston is underwater. It's like at sea level.
Not usually.
Right? It's like anytime it rains, there's going to be some block in the neighborhood that's underwater.
Alhamdulillah, where we live, we don't see these sort of things.
Yeah. No, this new location is raised. So.
Alhamdulillah. And that's part of the investment, right? You gotta get a place nowadays, especially after Harvey, where you have to be out. We're sitting like 4 feet, you know, above ground level.
With water retention ponds surrounding us.
2 water retention ponds. Those are the details, man. So, you know, going to producing, right? There's so many details that you think about when it comes down to producing good content. That same thinking goes into whatever you do, you know, outside of the production realm, right? Do you feel that every time you approach a problem, like we had to purchase a property, we have to like look at all these details to produce a final result?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so here we are. Today, we're going to record some of our story regarding where we're at. So I'm glad you're doing this vlog because a lot of times we don't get the chance to just explain what's happening, where we're at, and what we even think.
What goes into it, man.
And what goes into it,
So the issue that I was running into in terms of the technicality of how I'm approaching the audio. Right. So initially what I had done before, which worked, but like it's limited, right? We have microphone stations set up. Instead of passing a mic around, you have a question you want to interact, line up at the mic, right? Very controlled, but the audience and the instructor's like, is this working? I'm like, don't worry about it, trust me, right? That thing needs to be there. But now I'm just thinking like, I like the idea and some of the best content, right? Oh, we got a microphone, the roller coming in. That was back here from a moment ago.
That's a confidence monitor, right? Yes, sir.
Oh boy.
Woo!
Oh boy.
How is that going to go?
Alex is gonna make the monitor do some whirling dervishes here.
Alex, behind these two cameras over here.
You might just want to move the cameras
These two
back.
cameras, we just set it like right here. Bismillah. That's it. These happen to be Bilal's cameras here.
Yeah.
So we could move them. The other SD cameras are not so easy to move because they have the cable set up. So we just flip it around right here. It takes about a decade plus to be comfortable and be able to have so much gear and understand what each piece of equipment actually does.
Yeah.
What is it? You have to deal with something over 10,000 hours in order to be proficient.
It's like it was what, not only just 10,000 hours, right? The key thing in the technical skill realm was 5,000 of it has to be in practice. The other 5,000 has to be in practice under somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
A lot of times people spend 10,000 hours, but they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, my internship was totally free. Like I couldn't charge $1. I had to go totally work for free. At the beginning, you start just knowing how to even fold the cables.
Yeah.
You become...
I learned how to do that on a sales job selling vacuum cleaners.
Really? I lived with a production studio here. It used to be called Post Squared.
Okay.
And they were doing all the different ads for like the movie theaters, big restaurants,
Yeah.
So they used to do a lot of corporate videos. And they had done some production mixed with animation because one of the guys was an animator. And it was literally two guys doing all these productions. They had Lou Ferrigno.
Okay. The Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk. Doing some stuff. So I learned a lot from them, but they told me, what you're going to learn over here is so valuable.
Yeah.
They just gave me the ability to do that when I was going to school.
Yeah.
That they were like, not only will we not pay you.
That's a dope background.
That's a TriCast.
Yeah.
That's a switching system.
Yeah.
So Alex is going to be hitting 1, 2, or 3. Those 3 things, keeping it to the most simple way of cutting to each individual talking. To simplify something, you got to understand complexity at the beginning.
Yeah.
So we're trying to simplify the whole production realm, and hopefully whenever we get going, the goal is to forget that we're producing and to just be us.
Yeah.
That's we want to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah.
I think the authenticity is missing from a lot of this work just because you have to talk about the story and produce the story, and that takes so much time.
Yeah.
We're so focused on actually doing the work.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna.
One of the key things that a lot of people forget about in relation to authenticity is you got to know yourself first.
True. And you have to be confident with yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can't be everything to everybody. We're going to discuss that before we actually record today.
Yeah.
You cannot please everybody. No matter what you do in the world, it's too complex. You're going to be able to offset some problem or deficiency in the world, hopefully, if you're really contributing in some way, but you're never going to be able to fill that hole totally.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today when I was speaking to my wife. I was like, imagine if somebody just came up and said, hey, there's all these relief organizations all over the world. How come world hunger hasn't been solved? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you have to continue that work, and more organizations will happen, and the big ones that are leading will be bigger, and still world hunger will exist. Because it's the imbalance of the distribution of human beings.
Yeah.
It's not the amount of wheat even that Allah created.
Yeah.
If you distributed wheat properly, people shouldn't die of hunger.
Yeah.
So human beings are always going to be, right?
Yeah.
Doing this, and
Yeah.
therefore you need some other ones to offset some of that balance.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Issa?
That was very good. I will clap for you, but I won't.
You can snap for him.
Oh, yeah.
Do the poetry style, right? Snap.
And see, a lot of times, man, even in doing this work, right, we discuss so many different things on the back end
Yeah.
that when we come forward, on the I don't know, activity level or, you know, producing some outcome in whatever way we're doing it. It's a very small percentage of what we're actually dealing with in the back end, right? It's like glaciers, right?
Yeah.
You know how much it
It's
is
only the tip of the iceberg.
It's only the very tip you see.
Yeah.
The thing is so huge, but it's like more than 2/3 underneath.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. We don't see our brains, we don't see our heart. But if you don't have a heart, you don't have a brain, you're not functioning outside.
No doubt.
So when people just see the outcome of people,
There you go.
Hey-o.
there we go. So when people just see the outcome of something,
no.
you know, nice. When people just see the outcome of something, they think that's it.
Yeah.
But they don't realize the amount of work that is done in the back. There's a saying, you know, champions are only recognized in the ring.
Right.
That night they won the championship.
Yeah.
But they became champions because they trained every day.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what's up. This is it, man. We're gonna drop jewels here, man. I don't know. We're gonna drop jewels.
Just to finish off the technical point of the audio. So this is what I'm testing out in terms of process. So I've mic'd myself up, right, with a Tascam audio recorder, and to see whether or not the audio itself is good, and to see whether or not it's going to be effective. Because this way, all the participants.
So you're mic'd up right now?
Yeah.
As we can see.
Yes.
Right here. Okay. There you go.
And so my idea is to mic up all of the participants.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interracial marriage is actually getting more and more common, which is good news. I mean, if you use that as a progress of the fact that our society is progressing.
I think it's important to differentiate between like just acknowledging a preference as a preference and then saying maybe what led to it and shaped it in a person's life or over generations could be blameworthy. Like tracking it back, saying the colonialism and all this stuff that we can say it's blameworthy, and let's have a hope to work on that.
There's two like things they'll never like be like removed
Yeah,
from my
being
own
proud of lineage and things like that. That's never going to leave.
which is basically racism.
That's quite a production budget being invested.
But it's like these things, if you buy them in bulk, they come out to be about $180 a piece.
Okay.
Right.
And then you gotta feed that whole.
Oh, we're not gonna feed them.
No, I'm saying you have to feed that sound into a way to be able to. You're gonna have independent tracks?
These are all independently recorded. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start.
Like sync it.
So what so the process that I'm thinking in my mind is I'm gonna have like 3 or 4 hour tracks, like a dozen of them, that will be synced by everybody clapping in unanimous. Right? I'm telling everybody, 3, 2, 1, everybody clap.
About to start. Let's get a unanimous clap. Oh, I'm gonna count down. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Right, and then I'm gonna have that, and I'm gonna sync it based on that, and that's gonna be my like audio track. I'm gonna have to edit each audio independently, but it's the only way I can think of practically brute force method to get clean audio.
How many participants?
I'm gonna limit it to maybe 10 participants and instructor.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Right.
That's not bad.
So
I mean, we've had whenever we did the what's it called? We raised funds for the Harvey victims.
Yeah.
With the mayor.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 5 people on stage. 5, 6 people on stage. They were all mic'd up.
Yeah.
It's cool. When I filmed Hakeem training Dwight Howard, I mic'd both of them up.
Okay.
So you can actually hear both of their interactions, and it's very clean.
Okay.
You can go online and see that.
So me and Hakeem were undersized centers, and it wasn't always about power. It was about using our strength and quickness.
This is like the beginning of the game. You don't want to waste time. You just want to establish the game. Boom, on bounce. That's all day. Jump hook. Nice move.
ESPN used it, man.
They have some of those NBA mics. They're like super flexi mics that they can get beat up. Like you can fight with the person, and the mic will be fine. And those things are like.
You needed those back in the days when Barkley used to play. Because you may get hurt back in those days. Nowadays,
or if Shaq is on the court.
Nowadays, it's not that big of an issue.
No, but those things are expensive. They're like $1,300 each.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
If this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification icon so you're notified as to when these new videos are up. And
thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe, like, and share with your friends, and I'll see you soon.